So here we are again, once more, having a chance to meet with one another. I rejoice in that, and I thank you for the kindness you show in being with me here today. Those of you who are visitors with me week after week know that I'm again reading through the Bible this year, and you've had some taste of that in that I go from one portion to another in the Old Testament. If you've been paying attention to that, and I shouldn't expect that you'd pay that much attention, I think the last time I talked with you, I was in the book of Job. You'll be surprised, since that was not that long ago, that I'm in Proverbs right now, because that means that 150 chapters of Psalms have slipped by very rapidly. Well, I should tell you that when I read the Bible straight through from beginning to end, my one discrepancy from following that pattern is in the book of Psalms. Because I read special from the book of Psalms all along the way, spreading it out over the year, partly just because I like to spread the Psalms out over the year. They are so good that it seems almost a shame to crowd them all into 1 month of reading. Instead, I read 2 or 3 or 4 a week. And if I read about 3 a week, they'll last me almost through the entire year. So 2 or 3 Psalms a week. So right now, therefore, I'm in the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, as you know probably, is a book of wisdom, but it's very down-to-earth wisdom. It isn't the kind of knowledge that one gets by gaining a Doctor of Philosophy degree in some field of knowledge. It is rather the kind of common sense one is likely to get if perhaps one lives long enough to accumulate common sense, or if one has that special instinct to find common sense in the midst of the process of life. And then, of course, it's also possible that you, like others in my generation, and I think the generation coming just behind me, will have for remembering the common sense that their parents or a Sunday school teacher or a classroom teacher gave. My mother was a great quoter of common sense, not just that in the Bible, but little phrases that she had learned as a girl and that now she was passing along to me. I don't know that people do as much of that common sense reciting. I want to read to you a piece of common sense from the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 22. Listen, "The blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it." I think that the man who wrote that, probably, as I would understand it, probably King Solomon, had learned that the blessings of life, as first experienced, may sometimes carry with them an unexpected factor of sorrow. I wouldn't even call them, therefore, the blessings of life. They might be the enjoyments of life, sometimes the good luck, sometimes the favor, sometimes the pursuit of pleasure. Thus, for example, I have heard people complain after they had been drinking the night before that they paid for it the next day. I've never been a drinking man, so I don't know what kind of pain they suffer. But they tell me that it's bad news to drink too much because they pay for it the next day. That kind of pleasure of life takes a penalty the day that follows. A lot of it does. A lot of eating can do that to you. You wish the next day you hadn't eaten so much. The food was a blessing. You got more than you needed. Sunshine. You get more of it than you need, and your doctor tells you so when he looks to what it's done to your skin. So many of the blessings and favors of life have a price to them. But the wise man in Proverbs said, "The blessing of the Lord makes you rich, and he adds no sorrow with it." That is, the blessing of the Lord is unalloyed. There is no other element entering into the blessing of the Lord. It is good all the way through. There's no sorrow figure that comes out of the blessing of the Lord. Now, there's a wonderful quality in the blessing of the Lord that can take the sorrow of life and bring blessing into it. But the blessing of the Lord itself is not a carrier of sorrow. It is pure all the way through. When you receive a blessing from the Lord this day, if it is God's blessing, then know that there is no sorrow with it. The blessing of the Lord is good all the way through. That's what the wise person said 3,000 or so years ago. He spoke with inspiration. He spoke from experience. He spoke the truth. I hope that you have some such blessing from the Lord today. And if it is from God, there will not be any sorrow with it. Even the turns and twists of life won't take from you the integrity of God's blessing. That's what's on my mind today, and I'm happy to be able to pass it along to you. Thank you, and God bless.